We're back, my friends. I am sorry for the gong show. That was our first attempt at the weekly astrology this morning. My name's Ashley Brianna Eve. I'm a professional astrologer and obviously professional at chaos as well. I have ADHD and it comes out real strong sometimes in trying to organize my Mondays, but welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you found your way back here after catching the overview of the astrology for January 6th to 12th, 2025 that we did this morning. Now we're going to talk more about Glow and Pandora, the asteroids. I want to just say right off the bat, I am at the age where I no longer desire to try and be something I'm not or to try and be perfect or put on illusions. If you are looking for polished, beautiful YouTube videos where, the astrologers can do all these fun things and they're pre-recorded and they're edited and put together beautifully, my friend, this is not the channel for you. It's just not the channel for you. There are lots of channels. I'm happy to direct you to channels that are very polished and beautiful and perfect, and they have the nice fancy videos. That will never be me. And I've just embraced over the years, getting older, that will never be me. But if you are looking for more raw, live, I love live. I love going live. I love hanging out with you guys. I love getting to know you and chatting with you in the comments when I'm live. If you're looking for more live and real shit, like just what comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth, then this is a channel for you. But it will never be polished. It will never be perfect. I will not be perfect. I struggle with technology. It is what it is. So you saw that on display this morning. But we're coming back. I got off my calls with my private clients. I'm back. We're here. And now we have some time and space to talk about Glow and Pandora this week. So again, we don't really like basic bitch astrology around here. I love asteroids. I love more esoteric points and looking at things that a lot of people aren't actually looking at. And for me, I believe it gives us a deeper look at the energy we're looking at this week. I mean, how do we fully understand Mars and Pluto this week and the friction of Mars moving into Mars retrograde at that, moving into Cancer? How do we fully understand that inner tension, the emotional turmoil, the potential to take fiery action that isn't aligned with Pluto later this week in opposition to Pluto, with Pluto being like, yeah, and what are your deeper desires? What do you actually want? How do we understand that tension and the full depth of it without understanding the asteroids? I don't think you can. So we don't do basic bitch around here. We go a little bit deeper into it, which means sometimes for the sake of time, I'm not going into certain aspects that other people might notice, but we all have, it's about finding your niche and finding your people. That's what it's all about. That's what I believe in. All right. So you can see here, I have Glow over on this side. GLO is how she's showing up, the asteroid. And then we have Pandora, and PANDO is how she shows up. Glow is, well, they're both asteroids. Her asteroid number is 3267. And Pandora's asteroid number is 55, which is very interesting from a number perspective and numerology perspective. So let's break them down first. I want you to understand Glow and Pandora a little bit more. Sometimes autocorrect puts her in as GLOW. Sometimes I catch it. Sometimes I don't when I'm typing really fast and preparing captions, but it's GLO for Glow. And Pandora is exactly what you think. Pandora's box, right? Like opening of chaos. So it's an interesting energy that we have in a trine this week. Usually trine, see how it's a blue line here, is typically a good energy. Usually a trine is a harmonic energy, whereas like an opposition or a square is going to be more tension. However, when we have Pandora mixed in on this, it's not a guarantee that this week's going to be all copacetic and everything's going to be perfect and everything's going to be a gift. In fact, the interesting aspect of Glow this week is it might be like an actual gift or it might be a curse in disguise because of the energy with Pandora. And again, when we bring it and zoom out into the actual astrology this week, when we're thinking of Mars doesn't like being in Cancer. Like, this isn't a fun energy for Mars. Mars is like, I don't want to be here. Opposed Pluto as we go into this week. Are you going to be, and here's the question, are you going to be prone to taking action on things because Mars is uncomfortable, maybe a little irritable being in Cancer? Are you prone this week to taking action on things that are actually a curse? And it's not going to be the glow up that maybe people that are only looking at glow are telling you that this week's going to be, or that this year's going to be. In fact, you could make decisions this week. So glow in this position tends to be like fantastic. I mean, look, she's in the 10th house, career. Tends to be a fantastic position for her of like a glow up in life, abundance, career, money. And it's interesting, Pandora 55, that's also from a numerology perspective, abundance and expansion. Very interesting energy, if you ask me. It tends to be, and if we look at it on the surface, this is like a chef's kiss energy. Like, bitches, this week is going to be easy, smooth sailing, but not so fast. So let's break it down a little bit. Glow is going to be your ability to shine. 10th house, again, we're kind of looking in career. That's a cool energy to start the year with. If you ask me, trine, glow, Pandora, 10th house, it's going to be your ability to shine, expand, draw attention to yourself. And, you know, I think it's Blake Lively actually has glow in the 10th house as well. I'm going to do a breakdown for them later. I know you guys love pop culture as much as me. You get pop culture here. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I just can't separate myself from pop culture. So we're just going to do it later. But this is like a cool energy. There's a lot of potential to expand. There's a lot of potential to have that gift given, an opportunity this week. There's a lot of potential here, a lot of potential as well when we're looking at the energy of glow. I mean, there's a lot of glows hanging out with a lot of aspects here. Let me just show you here. Yeah, we have a lot of potential good energy with her. Some hard energy as well. Venus. This is what I'll say about glow with a crunchy energy as well. Like, it's like energy with Venus. What I will say with this is your values in terms of money and abundance will likely be challenged this week. I actually have had a couple clients come to me this week and they're like revisiting their entire business model and they're revisiting what they're doing because this is being challenged because we have glow 10th house, right? Career, money, abundance, 55, Pandora, money, abundance, values. Were those values even my own? Were those values even things that were mine to begin with? And then, oh shit, then we have Venus, hard aspect to Jupiter as well. Interesting energy this week. You're going to be, what I would say is this, I don't want to get too off track because I want to focus on Glow and Pandora, but what I will say for this week, my friends, is you're going to be challenged a lot in regards to your values and what are the right opportunities. Are these opportunities in alignment with my values? Are these opportunities in alignment with what I actually want? What do you actually want? What are your actual intentions? What do you want from life? Here, I'm going to tell you this thing. I've been on I have not stopped talking between client calls and live calls since 7 o'clock this morning. This is something I've said over and over and over again. Life is short. Do not put yourself in an early grave because your career and how you make money is out of alignment with who you actually be and your values. It's not worth it. It is never worth it. You want to be a streamer? Be a streamer. You want to start a travel blog? Start a travel blog. You want to pick up and leave the country? And now's your chance. And I'm not saying make irrational decisions. I'm not saying make not self decisions where you're running from something. But if something keeps coming up over and over and over again and tugging at your heart over and over and over again, Glow's asking you to start looking at this week. What's in alignment? Is it in alignment with your values? Are you getting into things and you think it's positive, but it turns into chaos? I'm going to tell you guys a story actually about this. It's not in regards to necessarily Pandora Glow energy, but I want to share this story. I'll never forget years ago, I got into a partnership within my brand and they were looking for a human design expert. And I got into this partnership And I was like, this is a perfect opportunity. Like, they have a big platform. There's something that someone I admire. They are the top of the top. And I thought, this is a great opportunity. I didn't really look at the disadvantages it had to me. It wasn't really in favor of me at all, like in the slightest. And it actually ended up going against like all my values for myself, what I desired, everything. And it turned into a fucking disaster. So that's what you're kind of the energy you're looking at this week. You might get into a relationship in business, 10th house glow, that you think is going to be the glow up you want, but it's not. Or, you've been in a job that you hate and they keep promising you, right? They keep promising you things will get better. Just stick with it. Just stick with us. Things will get better. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. So start to see, like, is this actually in alignment with my values? But, typical me, we're going off track. So glow is going to be your ability to shine. 10th house career, shining in career. Maybe it's this time to step out, right? Like I said, you want to start being a streamer? Be a streamer. You want to start a blog? Start a blog. You want to start putting yourself out there or change careers? This week might be the perfect time. This is going to be a powerful week with glow there. Pandora is going to be, and again, we have what you would typically think is a positive influence. And I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm not going to say shit's actually going to hit the fan. It might not. But with Pandora here, she's an interesting character because she's going to bring about the dual nature of blessings and curses. And maybe the blessing is actually a curse, or what you thought would be a curse is actually a blessing. Right? So she's going to bring lessons from what we thought we wanted. And again, with the interesting aspect with glow and Venus, you might even actually, just sitting with it, you might even this week have something that comes out and you're like, oh my God, this is what I always wanted, right? Maybe, you finally get the client to sign, or you finally get the promotion at work. Or with 10th house, it's going to be more career related, but we could even go into the realm of relationships. And it seems like the best thing ever, but it's not. Another example I can give you is I left entrepreneurship and having my own businesses going back like years ago to work for corporate. And I kept getting promoted. And it seemed like a blessing, but it was actually a curse because those promotions actually kept me there longer when I should have fucking left. I should have left long before I did. And I didn't leave until my mental health got so bad because the job and the place was horrific. Right? So that's where I'm saying is, especially this week with glow in 10th house, it might feel like a blessing. Like I finally got that promotion, or I finally got recognized by my boss, or I finally signed the client. But sometimes what appears to be those quick wins, or what appears to be positive, is keeping you in a situation that doesn't serve you. Is keeping you in a situation. It's like that glimmer, like, oh, this is a glimmer of hope. Right? Glow, shimmery, shiny, glow up. That glimmer of hope is what can be holding you in situations that actually go against your values. And sometimes we don't even know who we are. Honestly, we don't know what we want. So I want you to start looking at this week, little things like I was saying in the other astrology report for this week, where I used to always look at Emily D. Baker. And I am a proud law nerd of Emily D. Baker's community. And be like, oh my God, she gets to stream. That is the coolest thing ever. Like, I wish I could just stream live all day and talk to people about pop culture and astrology and stuff. And then I finally thought, why are you killing yourself doing something else then when that's what you want to do? So there's a lot of reinvention energy this week in regards to the glow up that we can have in identity and career, and our identities around career. Glow, again, I want you to keep in mind, shine, expand, draw attention, especially related to the house placement and different aspects. Now, again, with the aspect we're looking at this week, and I wish I could progress it, but I can't get Glow and Pandora on my Astro Gold software. And then the only other software I can get it on, I can't actually progress through the week as we go, which kind of sucks, but we make do here. Actually, I have Solar Fire on my other computer. I might check that out. I have like every astrology software you can imagine. ADHD and all. So again, when we look at this, looks positive, but we have that crunchy. I like to look at like squares and oppositions as like crunchy energy. That crunchy energy with Glow and Venus, where it's potential like not bad. What I want you to look at is your values are going to be challenged this week. Is this opportunity in alignment with my values? Is this glow up in regards to my career and my business actually what I want? Because again, glow ups in terms of Glow the asteroid, not all shit, all no, not shits, all now. Okay, guys, give me a sec. Not all that shimmers is gold. So just because something seems to shimmer because it's glow 10th house and we have Pandora trine energy does not mean it's gold, right? So just use discernment this week. It doesn't mean anything bad's going to happen. But when we have that trine of glow and Pandora, it becomes very easy to overlook the shadows hidden in the light, right? Every light has a shadow. You light a candle and you're going to have the light from the candle, but it's going to cast a shadow. Everything casts a shadow. So when you get into something, there's always inevitably going to be like a dark side or toughness to it, right? That's just life. Light, dark, hot, cold. We experience the polarity and everything. When it's correct for us, though, something I say all the time to my clients is when you get into things that are correct for you, you actually have the energy to get through those hard times. You have the strengths and the wisdom and the willpower to get through those hard times because it's correct for you. What so many people do is get into things that are incorrect and then they're trying to push through. This week, we're really being asked, like, okay, there is going to be a shadow here. There's a shadow to everything. But is it worth it? Because is it something you want? So for example, let's say you want to start a new YouTube channel, right? You want to like be a streamer online. You want to be like a gamer online or something and make it your career. Like you can do anything these days. It is so cool, the internet. You can do anything. You do not have to stay in, like, again, career, 10th house glow. You do not have to stay in something that drains your soul, period. Doesn't mean you get to leave today or tomorrow, but you do not have to do something long-term that drains your soul. So what we can look at as well is, okay, yeah. So you say you want to stream on YouTube as an example. Go you, first of all, amazing. What are the steps that you can do to start that direction? And you might think like, oh, it's going to be hard and it's going to take time. Yeah, it's going to be hard. And yeah, it's going to take time to build community. It's going to take time to find your people. The reason why I love going live rather than really polished videos is I genuinely love my community. I always have. I love hanging out. I love hearing what you guys have to say. I love hearing how you're interacting with the energy and all of it. Like I just love hanging out with you guys, preferably live, right? And yeah, there's challenges to that. Of course, like this morning, I could have done like a pre-recorded video on Sunday and released it on Monday, but I didn't. I like being here with you guys. But there's challenges. Of course, there's challenges to anything. There's challenges to grow your community. There's challenges to get started in a new direction. There's challenges to going in a new path. One thing I will say, which I said to clients today, is you're never starting over. You're always starting with. You are never starting over, my friend. Ever. There are people cheering you on. There are people that love you. There are people that want to support you. There's people, if you're starting a YouTube channel, I'm just using this as an example, but you can put this on any area of life. If you're starting a YouTube channel in a new direction, I guarantee there's people in your worlds right now that are going to be cheering you on and will support you and share your content and show up for you and with you. You're never starting over. You're always starting with. So do not let the fear of the unknown or the fear of what if cause you to pick opportunities from Pandora that create chaos because you're too afraid to let go of what was. Let go of what was. If it wasn't serving you, pushing harder is not going to make it serve you. It's not. Let go. You know, I see clients, and again, my background's like so varied. I know this is very hard I still can't wrap my head around. It feels like it was another lifetime. I used to be a counselor. I've been in the self-development field from the psychology side, the astrology side, the human design side. I've been around the block helping people, and there's so many people that like, because I'm not going to force anyone to do anything. Even if I see something in their chart, one, they have to tell me, they want me to tell them, right? I'm not just going to give unsolicited advice, even if they hire me for something. And I ask them if they want my opinion on it and what I see. But at the end of the day, I can tell people what I see, and it's not my place to force them to do anything, right? It's not my place to be like, you have to leave your job or you have to do this or this is going to slowly kill you. But inevitably, when they're out of alignment in career, it negatively impacts every area of life. And they eventually come around, they're like, holy crap, you were right. I was staying and it's not worth it. So again, this is going to be a big energy for glow in 10th house. Where could your career use a glow up? Maybe it is just getting applying for the promotion at the place you work for. But maybe it's like, screw this. I could die tomorrow and they don't care. They'll have someone else ready to fill my position tomorrow. They don't care. Why am I killing myself over this? I want to do something that makes me happy. I want to glow. Maybe you want to glow in your career. You want to glow and do things that you're going to have fun with and that are in alignment with your values. Because this week, you're going to be challenged in regards to that. You're going to be challenged in regards to that. And it gives us a little bit more context in regards to the Pluto Mars energy as well. So key themes I want you to look at when we're looking at Glow trine Pandora is one, blessings might be an actual blessing, but it might be a curse in disguise. And something that seems like a curse, like for example, maybe you get fired from your job this week. And you're like, this is the worst thing that could ever happen. I got fired from my job. But then you remember this video and you're like, that crazy chick online was talking about this positive energy between Pandora and Glow. Maybe this is good for me. Maybe my old job was out of alignment with my values and this is the best thing that could have happened. Now, what are the steps I'm going to take? I'm going to share something with you guys because I have a lot of new friends on the channel for the astrology content that don't know my story much. I would say 6 years ago, that was me. I had hit my wit's end at corporate and I was just like, if I stay, it's going to kill me. If I stay, it's going to kill me. And so I'll never forget one day, and this is kind of the energy this week, right? Because I want you to keep in mind, it could be you step away and that's the glow up. It could also, with Glow in 10th house, it could also be you get fired this week. Not to scare anyone. But anyway, so I was, I kept saying one more year, one more year, one more year, one more year, how we do that to ourselves, right? And I just knew I wanted to help people at the time. I knew I wanted to do it on my terms. And I knew that corporate wasn't going to do it. I had quit everything. Long story short, but had a personal training studio ages and ages ago, hurt my back, so closed it down, ended up back in corporate for the money, right? Doing things that aren't in alignment, aren't within my values. That's going to be the energy everyone's faced with this week. Anyway, one day I couldn't go in anymore. My husband and I had just built a new house, like custom built a house. We had a cottage, 2 new cars. I had no savings. I had 3 horses at the time and boarding them out. And I didn't go back. Right? I just didn't go back. And then that was a kick in the ass I needed though, to start my business and to start like online again and to pick up the pieces again. And everything followed along from there. But it seemed in the moment of me not, like I physically couldn't get myself out the door that day. Like no matter how hard I tried, I physically couldn't. Right. So even though we could look like, yeah, but Ashley, you chose to leave. Like I physically could not get myself to go in for another day. But it was the biggest blessing. But it seemed as though at the time, a curse. And that's the kind of energy everyone's going to be meeting this week. So if you get fired this week, instead of looking at it as like a curse, I want you to look at, what have you been putting off? What have you continually been putting off and saying you were going to do, but you didn't do it because you were comfortable, but you didn't do it because you had that job that you could keep falling back on? Or maybe in your business, if you have a business, maybe this week it's like, you know what? I'm finally going to let go of that direction that has been holding me down, weighing me down, and isn't even in alignment with my values, Glow and the Venus energy here. And I'm going to go and do what I want. I'm going to go in a direction that actually serves me and makes me happy and gives me an internal glow up. And let me tell you, having been a personal trainer and a holistic nutritionist for a long time as well, there is no better glow up, especially in regards to Glow the asteroid, than the internal one. It sounds so corny. It sounds so corny. It's almost hard for me to say. But when you're doing something you love, everyone feels that. And it's going to have a positive impact in every area of life. Because when you're unhappy internally and you're living in a state of stress, that has a negative impact, also a negative impact on your health, your mental health, your physical health, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So how can we leverage this energy of glow this week in 10th house to really step into a career in a direction that lights us up, that literally you're glowing from the inside out? Usually I look at Vesta. So for those that have been in my community for a long time, I talk about Vesta a lot, that inner flame. A lot of us aren't connected into that inner flame anymore. Our inner flame's gone out. So we've been doing things we think we should, need, have to do for so damn long that we forgot who we are. We forgot what lights us up. I'm going to tell you something. I get on a call for astrology or whatever with people, and I ask, who are you? People have no idea how to answer that. Or when they do answer it, they're describing like Lassie. Well, I'm loyal and dependable, and I'm there for others. So you're a golden retriever. Like, who are you? Who are you? And the one thing I say to my clients all the time, and this is the week you're going to have likely, is it reminds me of The Notebook. Yeah. And it's like Noah yelling at Allie, like, what do you want? What do you want, woman? It's the same thing. Like, what do you want? Who are you and what do you want? Who are you and what do you want this week? Be honest with yourself, because the astrology is supporting you in this shit. The Pluto, Mars retrograde energy, Pluto, Mars opposition, glow, looking at with Venus, where have I been out of alignment in my career with my values? Pandora and glow, potential for a lot of opportunities, a lot of gifts this week, but they might look like bad shit, like getting fired from your job or, finally giving up on the direction in your business that's been killing you anyway. So who gives a shit? Like, move on. It might look like a curse. It might look like I failed. And for someone, I have ADHD. If you have ADHD, I have an ADHD and Human Design channel on YouTube you can check out too. But, there, especially that internal self-talk often can be like, oh, well, I screwed up again. Well, I'm a failure. Oh, I'm pivoting again. Oh, typical me. You're not meant to stay the same. You're meant to be constantly evolving. Something I always say as well, you guys are going to hear me say it, is you have to be the constant gardener of your own damn life, which means pulling up the weeds, which means looking at, are these values actually in alignment with what I'm doing? Is what you're spending most of your life working. You might as well enjoy it. So what I'm doing for work, does it glow me up? Does it like light that inner flame? Does it make me excited, or does it drain me? Because you spend most of your life learning, and we are so blessed to live in an age where you can literally start any kind of channel and make money on YouTube. You can start any direction in business, and I'm sure there's people that want it. Like, you just have to show up for you. But you have one chance at this. There's no point in being miserable. There's no point in killing yourself. Like, glow. Damn, I'm like channeling the glow energy today. There's no point. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to feel lit up by life. You deserve to do things you love. Is it going to be easy? Maybe not. Probably not. Not much in life is, but life isn't meant to be easy. The challenges you reach are what develop you, are what give you the character of who you are, turns you into who you're meant to be. So stop seeking the easy route and start seeking the route that lights you up. Stop seeking the route that's like, oh, the path traveled, like, just makes more sense to go this route because got my education in this, and I've been doing it for 10 years. But are you happy? Glow 10th house. When's the last time you've asked yourself if you're happy? When's the last time you've actually had that honest discussion with self of like, do I actually enjoy what I do? Without the internal self-talk of like, but if you pivot, people are going to be pissed at you, or you're going to let your parents down, or you're just being you and quitting again. Without that internal self-talk, ask yourself straight up, am I happy? And be honest. Because the energy this week showing you, and Pandora's there to support you. Well, Pluto and Mars as well. What are your deeper desires? What do you keep saying you want, or it would be nice to have, or you look at someone else and you're like, that's so damn cool. They get to do that for a career. And maybe it's not being an entrepreneur. Maybe you've always wanted to be a lawyer. Go back to school, right? Start looking at the steps. How can I start? Doesn't mean, obviously financials can be an issue with that. And what are the steps I can start putting in place to living a life that's actually mine, that actually lights me up, that actually makes me happy? That's what you're being challenged for this week. That's what you're being challenged for. So when we're looking at the trine of Glow and Pandora, use discernment, because we do also have the energy with Venus. Is this in alignment with my values? It might look like a great opportunity, but then you realize you're selling your soul for it, and it's not really in alignment with what you want and who you are. Now, it's probably not the right opportunity for you, right? So discernment, it might look like a blessing and actually be a curse, but it might look like a curse and actually be a blessing. For example, you get fired from your job, or it looks like a blessing, but then if you read the small print, there's a lot of strings attached, right? Use a little bit of discernment this week, but not just discernment in terms of logical, discernment in terms of heart, discernment in terms of value, discernment in terms of like, what do I actually want? What serves me? It's okay to be selfish. One of the things we're looking at for those that follow human design is we're going from the cross of the planning to the cross of sleeping phoenix. 2027 is when we switch over the cross of the sleeping phoenix. And part of that, and what we're moving into, the first phase of the cross of the sleeping phoenix, is selfishness. Being selfish is one of the best things you can do, because you be selfish, you get your glow up, and it positively impacts everyone around you. So using that discernment, 3, I would say this week, is looking at hidden lessons, is looking at past patterns. We look at Pandora, what's going on with her? Retrograde. So even looking at, you might see past patterns come into focus this week. Or even again with Glow and Venus, maybe you're going to notice like, okay, those are past patterns where I've actually sold out my values or sold out my soul or sold out my heart for an opportunity that I thought was good because my mind decided it was good, or because I thought, people would like me more if I did that, or my family would be proud of me if I did that, and went through to be a doctor. But like I was actually selling out myself to appear happy and successful on the outside. And you can even look at Vesta in your chart this week. I should have pulled up Vesta here as well. I always look at Vesta. That's okay. I don't even want to try to switch to other software because that caused like so many issues this morning. If you watched my first live stream where I spent 10 minutes trying to figure out how to share my software that I always share. So that would be another thing, hidden lessons. Like you might notice past patterns brought into focus. And then with Pluto, Mars, not just our past patterns being brought into focus, but also deepest desires. And also something that can come up a lot is maybe, your past pattern is like starting on the path that you want, and then it gets hard and you go back to what's easy. But what's easy actually doesn't light you up. What's easy actually isn't helping with that glow up, isn't actually helping you live a life that makes you happy. No job, no career direction, no client is worth an early grave. I say it to my clients as well. Some clients, I don't care how much they want to pay you, not worth an early grave. Start putting those boundaries in place, baby. Start owning your power. Start owning your expertise. Start owning your truth, your values, what you want for your life. All right. What else do I want to say? Yeah, I think this is going to be a big energy for also I think something's going to go down with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni this week. I don't think we've seen the end of that. I'll do a separate video on that. So what's some practical advice? I like to give you guys some practical advice to walk away with. Practical advice I would say is number 1, and I had this on Instagram as well, so you'll see this on Instagram. Number 1, I would say is like trust your intuition. Trust your intuition is going to be number 1. Like check in with your heart, check in with your soul, check in with like what is actually true for me rather than just jumping in. Because again, that offer that might seem too good to be true, it might actually be too good to be true. There might be strings attached that you weren't consciously aware of. And number two, I would say pause before saying yes. Check in with your heart, right? And that goes back to that discernment piece. Check in with your heart. I want you guys to start looking at this week. Does this support the long-term vision of my life and what I want or not? Does it support the long-term vision of my life? If you're, getting offered, for example, Glow 10th House Pandora, that promotion at work, does it support the long-term vision of your life? I'm going to give you an example, and then I'll let you guys go because I have more content to create for you guys today. So when I kept getting promotions at that corporate job I was telling you about, it seemed like a gift. But if I had taken a step back, I would have seen that it didn't support, even if I had stayed at corporate, those different divisions and the pay raise and the promotion actually didn't support, even if I never had started my own business, where I wanted to go with the company. But it seemed in the moment like a blessing. It seemed in the moment like something good. So it's just something to keep in mind. But Glow overall, what you're going to be looking at with her this week, I have a little infographic of her and Pandora on Instagram as well, is a glow up potentially. Potential glow ups for her. I would also say in terms of glow, I'm going to have to double check. I think she's in Sag. I could be wrong. Trying to rack my brain. I think until October. I might be wrong in that off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember. I looked at it the other day. But she's in Sag for a significant time for this year. I would also look at transits for glow with you in your natal chart and what is getting a glow up this year. What is getting a glow up this year? Or you could also look at, so she's 5 degrees Sag today. What placements do you have there in your natal chart? And where do you need a glow up maybe? Just look at that as well. It's another way a little practical tip you can take away. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I am so sorry for the chaos this morning on the first stream. And as I said, I think it's good because I don't really want to come across as polished, because that's just, I'll never be polished. I don't have the tolerance level or the patience level to put together really polished videos. I'd rather come on live and hang out with you guys. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're feeling going into this week. And if you have any ideas for pop culture content, let me know and I can create that for you guys. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.